Hi, my name's Tiffany Hunter. I'm a member of the ONE Camaign from New York City. I'm here today talking with Victor about the Liberian Literacy Foundation and what ONE Camaign members can do to help.
Perfect.
Victor, can you tell us what are the problems that this project aims to solve?
Thank you very much, Tiffany. I'm Victor Helb Jr., Executive Director of the Liberian Literacy Foundation. The Liberian Literacy Foundation recognizes a major 21st century challenge of these 700 million people who are unable to read and write. And the Liberian Books Project specifically targets these people who are unable to read and write in Liberia and depressed U.S. communities as well. Now, the West African nation of Liberia has recently emerged from 14 years of civil conflict. During the conflict, 95% of the country's education infrastructure was destroyed or damaged. Since that time, the impact on the people of Liberia has meant 80% unemployment, 80% illiteracy among the citizens of Liberia, and a significant percentage of the population living on less than $1 a day. These are the issues the Liberian Books Project aims to address.
Okay. What's the opportunity for you with this project to solve this now?
The Liberian Books Project is one of the greatest tools to address these problems, both in Liberia and as a model for other communities around the world. Mm-hmm. Now, the Liberian Books Project is a sustainable development project which aims to engage U.S. college students, alumni, soon-to-be student, authors around the world to directly participate in the poverty reduction strategy to address the challenge of universal primary education. Under the project, the programs of recycling books, building literacy centers, providing renewable electricity, and educational resources are combined into a single effort to support literacy centers around the world.
Wow, that sounds fantastic.
Thank you very much. It's truly exciting. The recycling books component of the Liberian Books Project, for example, engages U.S. college students across the country to collect 1,000 used college textbooks on each campus in support of one literacy center in Liberia. The whole idea is that we can collect 1,000 books. This would be books that are generally used, available for students who are coming into the next group of classes.
Okay.
And students can buy these 1,000 books for their next class. What that does immediately is saves about 70,000 trees that would have been used to print out the new books for that class, or where this project not available. But then the proceeds from these used books are then used to train teachers in Liberia, create scholarships for U.S. students to study and spend 2 years teaching in Liberian communities, as well as providing gently used computers and solar power to power these computers in remote communities. So this is what the Liberian Books Project is all about.
Excellent. Okay, Victor, so tell us, how will this idea positively impact the lives of Liberian poor and vulnerable people of these communities?
Well, 95% of Liberia's schools, hospitals, and clinics were damaged or destroyed during the country's civil conflict. What the Liberian Books Project does is builds 1,200 literacy centers in Liberia and across the U.S. as well. There are literacy centers built in the U.S. as well as in Liberia. And what it does in Liberia is provides a critical resource to schools that are currently in existence, and to schools that are, to communities that do not have yet schools constructed. It serves as a lifeline. In many communities, these literacy centers will be the only lifeline to basic literacy, financial literacy, computer literacy, as well as environmental literacy and job skills training. So the impact on the Liberian people will certainly be dramatic, it will be direct, and it will be uplifting.
It sounds like a much needed resource.
Indeed.
It's fantastic.
Indeed, it is.
So tell us, why now? Why is now the time to be doing this project?
Today, in the 21st century, we are presented with the opportunity to address many of the world's lingering problems. However, universal primary education is one of our world's problems for which we have all of the tools available to us to resolve right now. The Liberian Books Project presents such a tool to achieve universal primary education in Liberia by collecting a single-use college textbook to address these challenges. Now, Liberia has recently emerged from civil conflict. The country has elected Africa's first female head of state in the history of the continent. Her election and her commitment to developing the country's infrastructure has resulted in the enrollment in schools of more than 1 million students in Liberia alone.
Wow.
Now, these schools are currently simply not ready to receive these 1 million plus people that have registered.
Sure.
So the Liberian Books Project presents an opportunity right now to reach out and extend the support to these students while they're hungry, while they're eager, while they're ready, while they've enrolled, and address universal primary education in Liberia. With 1,200 colleges targeted to participate in this project across the United States, now is the time for each student across the country to participate so that we do it in unison, we do it right now, and we do it completely.
So what can we expect to see in the next 3 to 5 years with a literacy center?
Well, now's the time to participate. Now's the time to do it together. Now is the time for every college to collect books for this project all at the same time. Because what that does is allows us to begin to construct 1,200 literacy centers immediately across the country. This means 1,200 teachers will be trained that have not had the opportunity to gain training within the last 20 years, especially in Liberia. This means 1,200 centers will go up in communities where for the first time people will have access to computers that they've simply never seen before. And they'll be plugged into the 21st century in a way that not only presents them information once in the form of a single textbook, but a computer allows access to universal education. And these very simple things, because we're providing solar power to electrify these literacy centers, it will mean 10 megawatt of solar power for literacy centers both in the US and Liberia. And beyond this, we ask each college in the US to create a scholarship for one person as a part of this project. So that will mean an opportunity to create college education for 1,200 teachers right here in the US, who then commit to spending 2 years of service teaching in Liberia.